So badass better be good. Why?
Two energetic babies at one time?
One for you, one for me. Get the fuck out of here. Good.
I'm talking about like dealing with them and like he's just going to work.
Okay, so that's different. That's different than a motherfucker, right? If we had twins and shit.
And both of them was just like this. Oh god.
I mean, I don't have too many issues. Not to toot my own goddamn horn, but issues and shit.
Are you gonna get Daddy Hill while I'm at work Saturday?
Hell yeah.
I believe it.
Hell yeah. What up, y'all? I'm eating right now. I know y'all can hear me and shit. I'm almost done with this burger though. It's game time. Which is what?
Hey. Hey.
Right there.
I don't have a target.
I don't need it. I got the other one from the Polar Pop.
Don't be looking at me like that.
You already know he full of it. What's up, King B? What's going on with you, bro? Eighty something. Sound like 80 out this bitch. Boston, what's up, bro? What up, what it do? What up? Smash a little bit of Burger King real quick. Nah, they don't make WoW for Xbox, bruh. Nah, they don't make WoW for Xbox. Don't you wish, though? Don't you just wish some shit like that was possible, my friend? Just being honest. Alright, hold up. First off. You should, man. They ain't gotta make it for the box, guy. I got it. They definitely don't have to make it for the box, cause your boy definitely got it, son. When I say I got it, this is a level 100 character. You know what I'm saying? With all kind of mounts and all kind of shit, cuz. My horse and shit, my horse and carriage shit. Got it. Miner and shit too, so I gotta get it where I fit in. 101. Snow, let me go to Garrison. Clouds in. Fuck it, I might as well do some shit over here. This road, I can cut across the field. Nah, I can cut across this road right to the right. See something fun? They told me stop buying all these fancy clothes, but I don't wanna. Yeah, I've been playing World of Warcraft for a minute, man. The last time I played it though, it's been like a year. A little over a year since the last time I played World of Warcraft. But I still got my account and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I need a target.
See, not everybody around my level like a one-on-one. Boss right there. That flying bird, that's a boss right there. I ain't gonna fuck with him yet, cause he an elite. I ain't fucking with him. Hold on, y'all. I'll make a whole record off that, DJ.
Yep. Because apparently he makes jingles.
Let's get back on the damn horse though. Nah, you know what? Fuck the horse, son. Fuck the horse. I can't fly over here yet. I gotta get my flying skills up. I gotta go see my trainer, that's right. Costs like a lot of gold to even got get your flight shit for certain worlds and shit. Line that ass up.
I don't have a target.
It ain't complex at all. I just got like a whole bunch of gold from that side.
Okay. You ready? You ready for what? Bye-bye.
Oh, hold on.
Are you ready for what? Bye-bye. I know you don't like it. I already know.
Who told you that? He told you that? Yeah, there go that bitch. I ain't gonna fuck with him yet though. I ain't gonna fuck with her yet. I ain't ready. And the thing about being a hunter is you can have the pets with you, right? And if you notice, I got 2 pets with me right now. I got a total of 5 pets, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm always looking for some unique ass pets to capture. Not as easy as you think, as you probably think to capture these motherfuckers. Let's see. See, I gotta dismiss one of my current animals in order for me to try to get another one. I ain't about to get rid of nobody yet. Looks like we dismissed. I like calls though. Man, I got all kind of shit, man. And I got like 6,000 gold. That's neither here nor there. On my other characters, I got like 15 grand. I got gold all around the board, but I send gold to all my players. The guild, I mean. I think I'm to the guild. Hold on, check. Yep. Oh, I got problems. Got problems. Boss on me. See that shit? I played dead on his ass. Yeah, shit like that. That nigga's about to take me out. Shit. Alright, I'm back to full health now. Wow.
Oh. I need a target.
what I do, mama.
King's honor, friend. Farewell. Need help? Go with honor, friend.
May I be of service?
Man, goddamn! Them boys ain't got nothing in the bank. Them boys ain't got shit in the guild bank, cuz. Fuck out of here. Tell you what I am gonna do. Since I'm motherfucking here, and he trying to charge me 20 gold to change my shit. I mean, to fix my shit. Let me go on and get that. Gonna get that done.
Safe journey.
I got it, nigga. 20 gold ain't shit to a boss. What you got there, man?
Light be with you.
Oh,
For the Alliance, King's honor, friend.
I want to see the fucking
Be careful.
table, dude. My shit acting right now. I got my shit finished download. Alright, so I gotta get somebody that go against that fucking shame. I ain't got nobody to go against that bitch. Yeah, I do though. Still be on ass. Take care of it. Don't take care of it, cuz. Sending all my motherfuckers on a mission, you dig? Fucking block knock off in there, bitch. Everybody get their block knock off in there, bitch. I ain't got nobody for that. Oh, damn, 67%? Shit, hold on. Switch. Yeah, I got get that work, man. Out this bit, man. I'm sending motherfuckers on missions. Fuck it. Hold on, yeah, I got somebody for that. Oh, man. Check on motherfucker, please. I'm gonna wait till people come back. What's your phone going off over there? Should have been gone already. He's a motherfucking moth. I ain't gonna do that to him. What is that? That's a ridge prowler. Hey, watch this shit. I'm about to dismiss one of my animals. Look at this fat fucker. Fucking river beast. I'm about to get rid of this fucker. He is quite ugly. Alright. Now that we've done that, go over to the Tame Beast tab. Told me to stop by the outlet faster than car. He gonna beat the shit out of me though. Watch this shit. But what happened? What happened though? Turned into a baby back bitch. Baby back bitch. Baby back bitch. And it was kind of quick. Cause I got a damn cat and I got this monkey over here ready to fuck shit up. What's this? Black Rock Mountain? There you go. Yeah. Eat that shit up. That shit there in tech. Need that. Alright, here we go around here.
Let us speak.
So I ain't the only one still do it. I am not the only one who still puts French fries on his
We will
hamburger.
persevere.
Got him. Wait. Should I go there?
I've the finest wares in the land.
You ain't got nothing, bro.
See you soon.
I noticed that this time hiccups part of stuff like getting caught up in it and info. Alright. We're back in my garrison now. As you notice, I've come high level. I got my animals in this bitch. I wish they would tell me.
You are welcome here.
Bitch. I say, well, bitch, you an animal. That shit is a Witherhide Cliff Stomper. A crusher. Huh. That's the type of shit you fucking have just to have.
Dionisa
Anyway,
Ka.
I'm gonna get this money up. Go to the table. Let's see what we got. She's successful. Look at that shit. 100 XP? Fuck out of here, cuz that'll work. Come on. Nah, I ain't gonna fuck with you. We'll go outside. We'll go outside and see what's outside real quick. See what I have to do with the garrison.
How are ya?
Watermelon cost goddamn 2 gold out this motherfucker. Well, they really out here trying to get this money, man. They really out here trying to
Keep your feet on the ground.
They think of fucking you with no lubrication. I want you to keep that in mind. I ain't gonna fuck with you yet, cuz I already know you got a mission and shit. Ooh, get some mail. Nothing. That's cool.
Well met.
Quartermaster got. Yeah. See, there's so much to do once you reach level 100. It's kind of, I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to stay focused on one thing unless you like going to do like some missions or something and you're on task to do a mission.
Life bless you.
Way too many things. This shit right here. Alright, this is the garrison and shit. As you can see on the little mini map on the top right side of the screen, I still got a lot of fucking exclamation points. But that's because I'm on my hunter. My hunter had just got his garrison started and stuff. All of my other characters that are over 100, we already got the garrison up. Everything's running and everything.
Hi.
Let's see. I got bags at the vendor. Look at this shit. We're at the bank road. Got bags and shit. Let me check the damn Regent Bank real quick. Make sure I hit that deposit all regions. That'll take everything out the shit that you don't need right then. Cause you can always
Be good.
anytime you're doing stuff as far as crafting and all that stuff like that, you can do all that shit from your bank. You still own it. Say, why you ain't fall in, mama? Where that fucker at? Where my shit, fool? Last time I was here, me and you had a conversation about my wood.
Can I help you?
I need my shit on time, so.
See you later.
You got my shit on time, cuz. Send Kong after your ass, so you got my shit on time, cuz. Thanks. Oh, I ain't doing the pet battle yet. Okay. And not too rich to fly commercial flight. They wanna lock me up at Suge Knight. Let's see if I can goddamn mount right here. I think I might be a mountain flower. Nope. I know what I do need to do. I need to go find it. I need to go to I need to go to my damn I need to go to my flight training. Everybody else talking about, yeah, like, don't worry, man, you ain't the only one. Oh yeah, I gotta go to shit. What you doing? Why you moving them? Okay, when he that low on me, you don't tell me to move him. Man, the only time he was uncomfortable, baby, honestly, is when he screamed just now. Now, call me crazy, but he ain't make not one damn word just now until you lift that joker up off your chest. I told you, he crazy. You shouldn't have followed that damn fool up. I'm busting him in his head though. So we don't want to get butt caught in crazy. Crash, man. Alright. Mama got you, man. So you try to make sure you right, bro. Yeah. You look uncomfortable, she gonna adjust your ass. You don't give me that much hell. When I adjust, I don't know why he do you like that, baby. Busting in the head, I told you. I'm busting in the back of your face. You ever heard? Cause we come to get we got some elites with you, cuz I see you. We still come to get that ass. Fuck out of here. He's surrounded by some bosses too. Not. Drop this fucking bird real quick. That's one thing I know I got to reset my hotkeys. Bust his face up. That's what they gonna bother you. Uh-oh. Well, it ain't stronger than the one I got. Probably put that shit in something though. Put that shit in heal or something. Heal bang or even sell it. They tell you what your mama do. It's your way. You what you wanna do. Oh. And one thing I don't remember is how the fuck to get the storm wind in my head. I need to get the storm wind. I think I already did. I gotta go to Dalaran real quick. Alright, run to the restroom real quick. Told you his ass was crazy. Told you his ass was crazy. Oh, Dalaran, we here. Guess where I'm going? About my goddamn business. Fuck out of here. Why the fuck is this bird following the cub? Right, on the way to fucking Stormwind. I gotta talk to my damn trainer. My flight trainer. I ain't gonna lie though. I'm glad I got the Hearthstone to go certain places, because a motherfucker like me would be lost. Well, I ain't playing a year. So I'll be around this bitch like, bruh, how the fuck you get from here to here again? I can't remember how you get from here to here. Can somebody tell me, you know what I'm saying? Let me move my camera real quick. Alright. Man, fucking slow. The one thing I did realize about this place. Said when you portal, the fucking storm, man, you still got the portal. Alright. So we're still in now. So
How are you? Safe travels.
now we kinda over here where it all starts. Let's go away.
What can I do for you? Go with honor, friend.
Great to meet you.
Alright, so don't get that down. Now I would have to send some money from one character to the other if I wanted to get that $4 grand to get the master ride.
Safe
I
travels.
think the master ride is where you can ride in different places.
I've the finest wires in the land. Safe travels.
So I I got all them. I ain't even get this bread up. So one thing I usually did when I wanted to get my money up is I crafted and made stuff. Like I'm a skinner and I do mining and shit like that. And like if I'm flying through it, hold on, if I'm flying through an area, it'll tell me where the mine's at, like, you know what I mean, and shit like that. Just like with everything else, you know what I'm saying? If I got a specialization in it, it's gonna show me where it's at. Like, look, what's this? Copper vein right there, you know what I'm saying? I can't remember the last time I got copper, to be honest with you. Yeah, I can't really remember the last time I got that. But there's so many different ways of making money in this game. Let's go look at my. Let's go look at my spellworking abilities. Professions is in there. I'm a blacksmith. So I should be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Making items. I got plenty of stuff to make. I gotta get different things to make it with. Like copper. Like I could honestly, if I really wanted to, I could just go to the auction and buy copper. But then they're gonna bust your head just because you got to buy it. But it's out here. You just gotta get it. Know what I'm saying? So I got a little bit of copper ore. I gotta go to a stone just to turn it into bars. And I'm a skinner. So while I'm out here, what am I skinner? Minor skills of blacksmith. A lot of the shit from the miner. Cooking, fishing, and archaeology. That shit crazy. Finding shit, surveying lands and shit. Fishing and all that extra shit. There's a lot of different things in this game that I love way too much. But honestly, I really think I should have with blacksmithing. I really think I should have like skinning, but in order for me to get the ore for the copper bars and all that shit like that, I gotta have that shit too. I don't know if skinning is a minor. See, all these I ain't learned yet. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that Terminator hot. That shit look hard as fuck. That shit look mad hard. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm a log, and I'm gonna get ready to, I'm gonna start a new character. No, I'm not gonna start a new character. I'm gonna jump on one of my other characters that I know probably don't have like some shit going on, and it'll probably be one of my big characters that I know well. Be one of my big characters, and I already know they got a lot of shit going on. Let's see. I don't even remember what I think I do. This player, but so we can go ahead and jump off the porch.
Champions of the Alliance, the time has come for us to claim what is rightfully ours. The final push to retake Lordaeron Keep commences at dawn. The Horde and their war chief must answer for their crimes.
Alright. None of my shit's been reset on this character. I got to come in here and do this shit again for this character. Which is cool. Because now I get to look at shit for what it really is and all that shit like that. Wait, what is this? Television? Come on right up. I ain't gonna worry about the PvP yet. This particular character is Paladin. Sick shit, man. Got the ash spring on the motherfucker. I actually got, I think, a couple of the specs. There you go, truth card. It's a shield and a sword right here. Wait, that ain't the sword. It's sword somewhere in all this shit. That's one thing about me. I stayed on some shit. Stayed doing some shit, different shit with different characters. Oh yeah, it does come with that sword right there. So, where am I at? Chrome shield. Asheville. Alright, so I know where I'm at. I know how to get the storm anyway. Talents and shit. Skinny, leather work. don't remember. Well, I got light. That's how you position yourself, bro. Sorry. I'm about to go over here now. Let's see if I don't. Oh. Knew I had mounts, bro. About to say, really quick red. Wait, what about? It came off the boat. Wow. Never going broke. Let's see. Like I'm selling dope. Hold on the boat. Hold on that deep boat. Diamond goes on like that boat. Oh yeah, I gotta do this shit. Oh, that's right, I never added. Never added him to the. Yeah, that's cool. What is this about? All I see is no. There.
We fight in the shadows. Sleep with one eye open. I appreciate that you reported in so quickly, Champion. You will ship out with the 3rd Fleet. Speak to Captain Angelica when you are ready to embark.
This came off a boat.
You need something?
Yeah, let's go.
Light bless you.
Hold on, that's a. Yeah, hold on. Almost similarity. I bring in the charity. 18 gold apiece. I'll make it. See that right there? I can take them and put them in the auction. Sell them. So let's do that. Similarities. I donate to charity. Wow. My bitch came off a boat. I never going broke. It look like I'm selling dope. Curling on the goat. Your bitch on that E dope. Diamond clip on like the for that. I'll show y'all what this build do a little bit. I'm probably wondering, like, how my set work. A big ass sword. I actually got another sword as well. So pretty neat. Really? That's why. That nigga they off the chain. Going really whacker crazy today. It ain't what you want.
I don't have a target.
this time. It definitely is scary, because you know he known for pissing on people. Why? So it can make him feel even like he got the piss? But you don't get it. Anything cold or warm is gonna make him piss if he got the piss, especially if he ain't got no diaper on. He already feeling the ambient air. They're talking that real shit though. I know what it's like to have your dick out and nothing on. Okay.
Don't start that.
My son know I know what up, man. I gotta find somebody's skin in this bitch. I probably need to go back to where I was at. And that ain't nothing but touching the button, to be real with you. Bitch head.
You should say hey.
Set that son bitch on fire just now. You probably be like, why do you need all this skin? That's what I do.
I need to get closer.
If you're smart, when you out here doing shit and you got two people next to you, you're a little further than I expected. But when they close to one another, you can hold shift. You get all that. I'll fire it up now. Get him, man. Say it ain't tricking if you got it, mama. Say, yeah. It's usually what happens when you give me food. Just, oh, you know what? I didn't do that. I can hit my Hearthstone real quick, some of them. Let's put this bit down. Did I go to Dalaran?
Hey, my baby. Hey, my baby.
Oh, level 110.
Hey, my baby. Hey, my baby. Look at you. What did you say?
110, I need to be where I was at. Places I ain't been yet. Interesting. I know what I need to do. I need to get my pets up. Get their ass whooped every time they fight. This shit ain't even cool. I be putting them niggas in the battle for no reason.
Oh yeah, that MMA fighter that Brock Lesnar really beat him. He's been training.
What brings you here?
Interesting.
Be careful. Can I assist you? Till next we meet.
This came off of yeah. Never going broke. You look like I'm selling dope. I'm the goat. My shit sound like a lat. I don't care, so get my That should have fixed that. The $7.99. Motherfuckers.
I'm out of range. It's too far away.
We arrived at Fellblaze Ingress soon after leaving Light's Hope Chapel. This log bears witness to our journey.
I'm out of range. I need a target. I need to target something first. I need to get closer.
Get that fade. That's what you do.
Your flesh and devour your soul! Conquers all!
It's too far away.
Smack my ass. All that 10 minutes shit. I'm going to get my shit. Right now. And it's about to go all the way down. Problem with him. All that back and forth shit. Like an argument.
Medium or well done!
That shit worked last time. That shit ain't gonna work this time, cuz. How you all out worse. Ground's still shaking. There's somebody around this bitch, cuz. That shit freaked me out. There'll be a motherfucker somewhere over this bitch with the biggest shit, be like 10'10" and shit out this motherfucker trip. Just waiting on you to fuck up, etc. Daddy.
As she promised, Delas brought Conclave priests to join the battle.
Right.
Our forces are getting along well.
Okay, what about these? Let's not go over there and fuck this. Is that 1 or 2? Nah, see, that's a 7. That motherfucking 7. eyesight, so he can't really fuck with me. If they come both fuck with me, I might have a problem for a little bit, but I gotta readjust, gotta look at what some of my shit do with certain characters. If I don't, I'm not just playing streaming. Get my ass whooped every time. That's need to get on there. Break that man's here, cuz. Your boy coming. I'm done with your punk ass.
Flesh parts so easily.
Spells on my whip, that shit bad. Like too much chocolate for me. This shit just ain't.
The priests also seek Balnazar. Their leader, Prophet Velen, saw a vision of the Dreadlord raining destruction upon Azeroth.
I need a target.
The Legion does not yet suspect our presence. Their leader, Brood Queen Aramis, roams the camp each day.
There's someone I gotta kill. Shit, I don't mind. Jumping me shit. Now y'all see that shit ain't cool. Now y'all like, oh, we might need to take a different approach. Nah, bitch, keep that same energy.
In Sargeras' name!
I need to get closer. It's too far away.
We attack tomorrow. May the light guide us.
I serve!
I'm out of range.
Oh, that shit could be before. That shit ain't copacetic now, bitch, is it? Nope. A whole bunch of whole shit now.
Hey! You're not supposed to be here!
That's what she said.
I don't have a target.
We underestimated the Legion's cunning. After we attacked, the portal blazed to life. Balnazar arrived and tore through our defenses.
Die by my blade!
Your world will be purged!
Alley down here, fuck all that. I drink cause I'm drunk, smoke cause I'm high, castle on the hill, wake up in the sky. You can't tell me I ain't fly. You can tell me I ain't fly. I know I super fly. You know it. Know it. Hey, they love me. That's why they all fuck with me. I hit with the move, cause I ain't really smooth. You can't tell me I ain't fly.
I need a target.
He could have went home. He could have just quit his job and shit and went the fuck home. He ain't do that. Y'all watched him stay to fucking work, get his ass work. So don't be tripping on me. That's what he stayed. That was his job. Nobody he ain't got to protect.
We are still alive, but they are taking us through the portal to their homeworld. What lies on the other side?
Something first.
I need my last page, man. Y'all shitting me, bro. Get my last page about 30 miles back. Look at this. Oh, I'll take this bitch right here. I bet he gonna give me one. Watch him fire his ass up, y'all. Watch this shit. it from here. I need one more, and I couldn't get it from this bitch. Now that's crazy. I want what I want, and I want the shit now. I'm about to kill a motherfucker, take a nigga out. You can tell I want to run. That's a little bit deep.
I don't have a target.
Wait, what? Oh, that might be next. Oh, they got that dog, though. Dog be pulling the hell out their ass.
I broke free for a moment. Please, if anyone finds this, you are our only hope of rescue.
Wither before my might.
They play in the morning. No, they play Sunday morning. Wait, hold on. Check again though. Check and be sure. Not this bitch, man. Oh no, he found. That's a big motherfucker.
All mortals will feel the soul engines.
Now see, that was a little bit of a battle, but as you notice, I still kept my health. Even though he kept putting me in that damn jail cell thing. You know what I'm saying? The first 2 times I had to learn how to get away from that shit. I ain't no bitch, I'm out here. Definitely out here.
High Lord! Over here!
I ain't touching you, ho. You see what I just went through to get here? Like Mario Brothers and shit. He coming to save the princess and shit.
Warm greetings to you.
Give me my money. I don't want to do nothing else, man. That's not what
Good
I signed
day.
up for.
Peace and patience be with you. Walk always in the light of the sun.
So I got you with me, guys? Oh, so we about to wreck shit on a whole different level, huh? This one of the motherfuckers? Nope. But, either way. So he must go.
I am your judge, jury, and executioner.
I need to get closer. I need a target.
I stay fresh as hell, take a picture, I might as well, hell.
Chronakai Christor, Arcanon Poros.
Bask in the glory of the day.
I guess there's certain ones you can. And there's certain ones you can't. That's good. Y'all see that shit? Y'all see that shit, right? Check when it on. Out the bit.
I don't have a target.
Working on class mount. No, I'm actually just out here just doing a little work, man, in the area where a lot of the missions are for this level player, for the most part. Because once you get to 100, there's certain things it takes you to a certain area. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, gotta be in if you want great XP and things like that. I mean, you can go everywhere else, you know, and kind of do everything else, but they kind of have like a set place for you to farm when you are a certain level. And I'm at 110 on a couple characters, so there's certain places I need to be in, you know what I'm saying, type deal. So yeah. Well, I mean, what's up, Ryan? What's up, Ryan? What's up with it? Let's do it, bro. You ain't saying nothing but a word, bro. You ain't saying nothing but a word, my friend.
It's too far away. I'm out of range.
I was about to say I can't remember what my battle tag is. Hold on, let me go to yeah, Southern RPG number 1763. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Do you want good sound? You want good sound? Let's put this in. Let me find these headphones for my wife, y'all. Can't remember what the hell I do with my own damn headphones. But I think I know where they at now.
Went down in Boston, beat Boston. And I'm about to go Stone Cold Steve, Boston, Steve and Michelle, I know what it is, y'all.
Turtle Beach, white.
No, I don't use the same. I had other headphones and they didn't work. Go sleep. Shut it. Nah, he grabbed the damn cord.
Yeah, quadruple bass is awesome. My mom used to start putting these damn tops on these bottles for we fly up for like
one lane. So I'm gonna fight you to stick your tongue out.
Repeat again.
Damn, really?
Yes, he did.
Hey, Milky Way. Hey, Milky Way. Hey, Milky Way.
It was an evil smile. You gonna be excited? You sure? Alright, chill, Munchkin. I gotta go down there. That's cool.
It's too far away.
You trying to piss again?
Oh, I'm out of range.
Some of you didn't want to piss again. God, I take on crowds, but I'm like that.
What can I do for you?
I need to get closer.
Great to meet you.
It is always darkest,
I need a
just before the dawn. I recognize this place. Is it Netherlight Temple? Is the Legion planning to invade the Priest Order Hall?
Touchdown in Boston. Get a man.
I'm out of range. It's too far away. I don't have a target. I need a target.
That's the Prophet Velen. His life may be in great danger.
I need to get closer. I need a target.
Like I play. All the kinfolk call me Ray. so damn glad you was there. Oh, he a healer too. Yeah. About to kill some shit. Shout out to my dog Ryan, man, for jumping on. He say I am everything. Wait, so since you say you everything, I only have one curious ass question. Are you done? Wait, hold on, shit.
It's too far away.
It's a party over this bitch and I wasn't even fucking invited. What kind of shit is this?
I don't have a target.
These are detailed travel logs. It appears the Legion has been scouring the twisting nether. But for what?
I don't have a target.
See? This is what happens when you stick your nose in that door.
I don't have a target. I need to target something first. I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Can I help you? Hey there.
Touchdown in Boston. Used to beat Boston. Now I'm about to go Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Victory lies ahead.
What the fuck is that? Oh, that's a fat motherfucker. Oh yeah, he's fat. He's definitely fat.
Chronokai Christor.
Oh, he trap. Oh, it's popping like Crisco grease down that bitch. Look at them little critters. Look at all the little critters. So if I'm a giant chicken, am I Chick-fil-A's #1 enemy? I'm asking for a friend. That is funny. They don't even know I'm doing They don't even know I'm built like that. Them little things. I hit power up, they gone. I want this fucker right here. Oh, I had a finish with some shit like that.
It's too far away.
Motherfucker stop fighting. He trying to heal me the whole time. Bro, you can't heal me the whole time. Your ass got to fucking fight, you imbecile.
Arkenan Poros.
Are you here for him? You won't get past me. For ages we hunted the sanctuary known as Neverlight Temple. Hidden, was it, beneath our very noses. Finally! I sensed it. Holy light seeping through the twisting nether, blinding us.
I want to say free 7, I want to be changing to free 7. I don't want to buy it. I think I'm a bit
Now our armies will attack, and the temple will fall, and with it, the great prophet Velen.
Alright, so I done killed her. Now I gotta free this prisoner.
Who are you, stranger? You are not of the Legion.
We fight for the same side, warriors of light. Thank you for freeing me.
You special nigga, you special.
The Legion army will soon attack Netherlight Temple. This sanctuary must be protected at all costs. I will bring allies to defend the temple, but they are far away. I need your help to fight the enemy until we can arrive.
You know what that mean tonight, though? Why you don't have no hope? You know he ain't butt so big, so he can't stay up. Listen, that's like his ass going to drink at the bar, knowing damn well he can't take more.
We should
than
return
one
to
shot.
Light's Hope, High Lord. The Council needs to
You done
hear
took
this.
3. He can't take more than one. He done after one shot. He already out. Oh, this bitch already back over here. That bitch spawned good. You wanna lay down? Well. Man. Do you think he ain't going to sleep yet because of that bottle? But we had the other bottle earlier. Ain't still ain't going to sleep, right? Huh?
Are you here for him? You won't get past me. For ages we hunted the sanctuary known as Neverlight Temple. Hidden, was it, beneath our very noses? Finally! We sensed it. Holy light seeping through the twisting nether, blinding us! Now our armies will attack, and the temple will fall, and with it, the great prophet Velen!
What can I do for ya?
Baladash, Malanore.
Word, find that brother. Let me know.
Welcome!
Pick him up, bro. What's going on, bro? Since the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Ah, damn.
I'm out of range. Get closer. I need a target. Anaria Shola.
So I gotta find 5 more allies. 5 real quick. Come on,
I need a target.
What can I do for you?
He talking about I need a healer. He talking about what you need is Jesus. I'm done. He said he need a healer. So he called on God. What the hell? This is so funny. Touchdown in Boston. Steve Boston. Everybody goes to Steve Boston.
It's too far away. I don't have a target.
Motherfuckers from the dead. That's what I do, and if that's what I said, don't ever get that shit through your head. That's what we get that.
I'm out of range.
anytime I'm going to give me some mana. Matter of fact, you got a problem, cuz.
It's too far away.
I gotta rescue two motherfuckers that just happen to be down this bitch.
Bask in the glory of the day. Ancestors protect you.
Alright, bro, I turned it down. I mean, I wasn't really talking like too loud anyway.
I'm out of range.
I got my mic turned up.
I need to get closer.
Yeah, I got my mic turned up, so I'm gonna turn the volume down. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn my game volume down just a little bit. That way everybody can hear me. Even when I ain't like talking loud. Hold on, let me grab Munchkin. My wife's trying to take a little break. nigga looking at me smiling, man. Wait, you know what though? Now that you put it like that, and I really wish you wouldn't have put it like that, but now that you put it like that, that shit sounds real weird, cuz. You might be telling the truth for real. That shit alone is scary. Alright, let's change the light of sun. Come on. Yeah, sitting on your ass, my ass hurt. Hey y'all, I gotta change my son real quick. Daddy turned around the game. Daddy got him in the game. Bless you. Look at you. Already beating you. You need to attract them, son. They call Little Man and Big Daddy. Boy, until you need to see in your birthday. What you think about that? You need to see your birthday. Oh, you don't like that one? You got the first one. Okay, let's get the second thing. Why you took that to your mouth? But I really think you go to work with the right thing to say, right thing. I'm starting to smell some shit. He's not about to get me, y'all. He is, no, he done pissed on us both today. Yeah. You not about to piss on your dad. I know you crying because you want to piss on your dad. You sick, you pissing on y'all. Okay. I don't know who's saying to you or mama. There's a fan. Door. Can you use both? Why the door still open? Why you looking like that? You talking to your mom like that? You gotta tighten up, son. Fuck, man. That's it. Ain't gonna cap I gotta do it myself. Definitely. Get what I'm saying? You seeing what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a problem with you farting in my face, son. Something about the act of donkey, y'all. Yeah. I'm trying to just okay, look. Right, but you're not about to piss on me, man. You already know how to do, man. You can't, you ain't that strong yet, son. Yeah, it's cold, and your nuts are wet. You got a problem. It's cold, and your nuts are wet. Yeah, that's the issue, right? Like that. My nuts are wet, and I'm cold. Can you fix this shit, please? Somebody tell this nigga to put some clothes on because my nuts wet, my dick wet, and it's cold. All right. You try. You try. You try. All right. All right. Come on. Come on. This is all you want right here. 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 All day. That ain't even at home today. They had a lot to do today, man. They had a lot to do today. And I got caught up in damn 5 o'clock traffic, which you wouldn't believe was a happening. It was a happening. Get off the damn interstate, come home, and the interstate is right there, son. On the other side of the street, on the other side of the apartment complex, it's right there, son. Come down, you get your bye-bye. My fatherly duties have arrived. My wife has been on duty all day. It has been gracious. My brother had to take care of a lot of, let me get it wrapped up. Of important stuff today for the family. So, oh, look at there. Look at big all around the other side of the road. Sure enough, can't move ass child. Heard that. And I got a baller on deck. Got him. So, again, wife was on duty all day. Know what I'm saying? So, man get a little fussy with me when it's time to change the diaper, but outside of that shit, it be smooth. Alright. I know I got the bottle right here. I'm waiting on you to calm down. It's right here. It's right here. Go ahead and get to it. Alright. Yeah. Wait, listen. I said I got it right here. Don't mean open your mouth yet. I got to take the top off and everything. Yeah. It's, yeah. Hold on. Come on the damn hell. Yeah. Hey. What up? What up? What up? What up? You okay now? Say, Daddy got me swallowed up nice and warm after he done freezed my balls off. And now you feed me some nutritious formula. You gonna be sleeping all night though, cause you've been up all day. For real, you been up all day. You realize that shit? Okay. Need that same energy, cause like this bottle better. You like this bottle better than the last one? CJ, you don't know which one is in there. You'll take the time to eat. That's cool too. Hey man. Hey. You hungry? You hungry? That damn coming regular extra regular. Should start to catch up with us. One more? You don't want no more? Huh? You don't want no more much? Okay. Let me know, cause you know, shoot, Daddy's taking from you and give you your baba back. And shoot, your birthday, baby. So it was after the birthday. Sleeping. I don't think you do like this, though. That's cool. We ain't drinking as fast, which is cool. What? You got burnt. Come on. No, you don't want to let it go. Good. Daddy with a little bird. You gotta get it out, baby. Trying to hold your head up all the way. Any more? You want some more? How you feeling? You want some more? It's right here. You gotta give me a second to get it, man. Relax, relax. Relax, mister. I'm hungry as hell. Rigid, fidgeted, dang it. Stop fidgeting, fool. Yeah. Got you, man. Shit, I'm about to get out myself. Gotta take care of man. We'll be back on in a little bit. Probably about an hour. Maybe a little bit less than that. Yeah. Hold on. I gotta exit the game, baby. You burping? Ooh, that ain't even burping you when you burping. That's good. That's good. Come on.